to the next question. Over 80% from us feel that if we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted. Now, over 80% from us is a wrong usage. It's like most of us, the majority of us, a majority of. Now, over 80% from us is wrong. It must be over 80% of us. Now, 80% is like a determiner, telling us about the quantity of a noun. Any word that tells us about the quantity of a noun is termed as a determiner. Determiners don't deserve importance. Determiners must be neglected. So you forget about 80% of us. Of is a preposition. The third rule we discussed in the objective form of pronouns. Any pronoun that comes after a preposition must be in the objective form. Of is a preposition. In this sentence we have a pronoun coming after the preposition of, us. It must be an objective pronoun. Us is an objective pronoun, so that concept is completely fine. Us in the sense plural. The verb must also be plural. Feel is a verb here, plural, that is also fine. Then, if we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted. This is a conditional sentence because if is there. The three rules we discussed in the topic conditional sentences. The first one, when the if clause talks about an action in the future, the whole sentence must be in the future tense. The second one, when the if clause talks about an action in the past, the whole sentence must be in the past tense. The third, when the if clause contains had plus V3, it must be accompanied by would have, could have, must have or might have plus V3. Come to this one. If we had taken some corrective measures, had taken is had plus V3. So we have had plus V3 in the if clause. So it must be accompanied by would have, could have, must have or might have plus V3. If we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted is could have plus V3. Been is there because it's in the passive voice. The crisis could have been averted means the crisis is receiving the action, object, passive voice. So this idea is in the passive voice, that is could have plus been plus V3, passive voice. That concept is also completely fine. Now the whole statement is grammatically correct. In the given sentence, error is in part A. The next one. Despite of curfew in some minor communal instance, despite of curfew in some areas, minor communal incidents were reported from different areas of the walled city. Despite of is a wrong usage. It is just despite or else in spite of. Now I gave 4 words in the list of contrast indicators. I told you those 4 words mean the same. Despite, in spite of, regardless of, notwithstanding, these 4 mean the same. Despite curfew is the same as in spite of curfew, regardless of curfew, notwithstanding curfew. These 4 mean the same. Despite curfew in some areas, minor communal incidents were reported from different parts of the walled city. What is the part of speech of walled here? The walled city in the sense, city becomes a noun because of the article the. Walled city, the word walled describes city. City is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word walled becomes an adjective. Fine. The next one. You cannot prevent me to go there. We have discussed it. Prevent means to stop someone from doing something. Stopping someone from doing something is termed as preventing. So the verb prevent will be followed by the preposition from. Prevent from, prohibit from, etc. So you cannot prevent me to go there is wrong. Prevent cannot be followed by to. Prevent will be followed by from. That is the error. We got the answer. The error is in part B. Now, you cannot prevent me from go there is a wrong usage. You cannot prevent me from going there. You cannot prevent me from going there. I should not prevent you from going there. I should not prevent you from studying. We should not prevent them from buying the books, etc. So prevent me from going there. There is in part C. The next one. He left to Bombay this morning for some official work. Go to, went is a past tense of go, so go to, went to. Leave cannot be followed by to, leave will be followed by for. Now I go to Mumbai is the same as I leave for Mumbai. Now here, he left to Mumbai. Leave will be followed by the preposition for. Left is the past tense of leave, so leave for, left for. He left to Mumbai is a wrong usage. It must be he left for Mumbai this morning. He left for Bombay, Mumbai or Bombay, same thing. He left for Bombay is the same as he went to Bombay, the same thing. He went to Bombay is correct. He left for Bombay is also correct. He left for Bombay this morning for some official work. Work is a noun here. Official becomes an adjective. This morning, this is a demonstrative pronoun. Now identify all the rules that appear in every sentence. This is a demonstrative pronoun. This is a singular pronoun. So the noun along with this must also be singular. This morning, morning is a singular noun. That concept is completely fine. The next one. The warrior fell from his horse. I told you it is fall off. He fell off his bike. She fell off the building, etc. Fall from is a wrong usage. Fell is the past tense of fall. It's fall, fell, fallen. Fall from is wrong, so fell from is also wrong. It must be fell off, O-double-F. I told you O-double-F off has a meaning like coming to an end. Fall off, jump off, switch off, sign off, log off, etc. So the warrior fell off his horse. There is in part B. Come to next one. He is a lovable person, but what makes most people dislike him is that he boasts his wealth. I told you about the verbs boast and exaggerate. Boasting is like self-appreciation. Speaking too much of oneself is termed as boasting. Exaggerating means like saying something more than what in fact exists. Right? Boast is a verb, and the verb boast will be followed by the preposition of. It is boast of. Exaggerate needn't be followed by any preposition. So he is a lovable person, but what makes most people dislike him is that he boasts his wealth is wrong. It must be he boasts of his wealth. The error is in part C. He boasts of his wealth. Now, but is we got the answer. Still, we'll think about some more rules that appear in this sentence. But is a contrast indicator. It should be like a revision for you. The topics we have already covered. But is a contrast indicator, must connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The idea before but is he is a lovable person, positive. So but is a contrast indicator, and the first idea is positive, so second idea must be negative. But what makes most people dislike him is that he boasts his wealth, negatively charged, boasts of his wealth, negatively charged. Now the concept of contrast indicator is completely fine. Person is a noun, lovable person in a sense, the word lovable becomes an adjective. Most people dislike him. Most is an adjective. Most is a determiner. It's an adjective in fact in this sentence. Most is a determiner telling us about the quantity of the noun people. Determiners don't deserve importance. Forget about most. The noun here is people, plural. The verb must also be plural. Dislike is a verb here, plural. Is that he boasts of his wealth. Wealth is a noun because his is a possessive pronoun, and after every possessive pronoun comes a noun. Come to the next one. He claims that his proposal is preferable than that of any other employee. Understand the meaning. From this sentence, is he an employee? Yes. Any other employee means he is also an employee. I told you this. Go to any other faculty means I am also a faculty. So any other employee in the sense, he is also an employee. That is fine. He claims that his proposal is preferable than. Preferable cannot be followed by than. Preferable will be followed by to. That is the error. The error is in part C. Now, understand the meaning. He claims that his proposal is preferable to that of any other employee. The pronoun that stands for the noun proposal. We are not using the noun proposal again just to avoid redundancy, repetition. So he claims that his proposal is preferable than that of. That means a proposal of any other employee. In the given statement, the error is in part C. The next one. The building adjacent to the river. Adjacent to is a correct usage. Adjacent the river is wrong. Adjacent to the river is correct. By the side of, beside, next to and all. The building adjacent to the river comprises of 10 flats, each with a terrace. Comprises of is a wrong usage. It is just comprises. And comprises is a one-word substitute for consists of. So the building adjacent to the river comprises 10 flats is the same as consists of 10 flats. Consists 10 flats is a wrong usage. Consists of 10 flats or comprises 10 flats, each with a terrace. The word building is a noun here because of the article the. Building is an ing word. Any ing word acting as a noun is called a gerund. So the word building becomes a gerund here. 10 flats. Flats is a noun. 10 flats in the sense, the word 10 describes flats. Flats is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word 10 becomes an adjective. The next one. He is firmly believing on democratic principles of Indian Constitution. Believe is a verb. The verb believe will be followed by in. We believe in ghosts. Belief is a noun. Faith is also a noun. We have belief in God. We have faith in God. We believe in God. The verb believe cannot be followed by the preposition on. It is believe in. There is in part B. Now, he is firmly believing. Believing is a verb. So firmly believing in the sense, the word firmly describes believing. Believing is a verb. Any word that describes a verb is called an adverb. So firmly becomes an adverb here. Anyway, it is an ly word. He is firmly believing on democratic principles. Principles is a noun. Now asking the question what? What is he firmly believing in? What is he firmly believing in? The answer is principles. So we are getting the answer to the question what as principles. The word principles becomes a noun. Democratic principles in the sense, the word democratic describes principles. Principles is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word democratic becomes an adjective. Getting it? The next one. The government has promised to revise the pension scheme for bank staff since next year. Next year refers to future. Since refers to the present tense. Since refers to the present tense, whereas next year refers to future. So since next year is a wrong usage. Since is used for an action that has started, what we discussed in the topic tenses. Since is used for an action that has started and is still going on. For any action that has started and is still going on, we use since, present tense. Next year refers to future, so it cannot be since. That is an error. The error is in part D. Now, according to the sentence, the action starts next year. The action starts next year, and for starting point, it must be from. So, from next year. The government promised to revise. The government has promised. The government is a subject, singular. Has is singular. Subject verb agreement is completely fine. Has promised to revise. To revise is 2 plus V1 plural, and 2 plus V1 plural is termed as infinitive. The pension scheme for bank staff from next year. The pension scheme. Scheme is a noun because of the article the. Pension scheme in the sense, the word pension describes scheme. Scheme is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word pension becomes an adjective here. For bank staff, staff is a noun. Bank staff in the sense, the word bank describes staff. And staff is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So in this sentence, the word bank becomes an adjective. From next year, year is a noun. The word next describes year, so next becomes an adjective. Fine. The next one. My niece has been married with the richest man of the town. I told you, married and engaged are verbs will be followed by the preposition to. Marriage and engagement are nouns will be followed by the preposition with. His marriage happened with. His engagement happened with. He is married to. She is married to. So my niece has been married with the richest man is wrong. My niece has been married to the richest man of the town. Has been married is has plus been plus V3. And has plus been plus V3 is a structure of present perfect in the passive voice. My niece received the action, object comes at the beginning in the passive voice. Right. My niece marriage, niece apostrophe s. My niece marriage was with the richest man of the town. My niece has been married to the richest man of the town. Richest is a superlative degree adjective. As you know, we use a superlative degree adjective when we refer to the highest level entity in a group. What's a group here? The town is a group here. We're talking about the highest level entity, superlative degree adjective. That concept is completely fine. The next one. He has been working on the problem from a long time but is still not able to solve it. He has been working on the problem from a long time. Now, a long time refers to duration, period of time, right? A long time refers to duration, period of time. And with duration, period of time, which preposition? For. From is for a starting point. From is not for duration. From is for a starting point. This sentence talks about duration, so it should not be from, it must be for. For a long time. Now, we got the answer, there is in part B. For appears in which two categories? Duration of time or period of time appears in two categories. Which are they? Perfect and perfect continuous categories of all the three tenses. That means for appears in present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. That is what we have discussed in tenses, right? He has been working on the problem, tense and category. To identify the tense and the category of a sentence, nothing much to do, no need to think much in fact. Just write down the order of the sentence, you can easily get to know. He has been working on the problem. Has been working is has plus been plus V1 plus ing. And has plus been plus V1 plus ing is present perfect continuous. For can appear in present perfect continuous. So that concept is completely fine. He has been working on the problem for a long time, but is a contrast indicator, must connect one positive idea and one negative idea. The idea before but is he has been working on the problem for a long time, positive. So idea after but must be negative. Come to the idea after but is still not able to solve it, negatively charged. The concept of contrast indicator is completely fine. Able to is a correct usage. Able to, capable of. He is able to solve it. He is capable of solving it. Completely fine. Now the statement is grammatically correct. In the given statement, there is in part B. The next one. He claims that he has learned the lesson word by word. I told you about these phrases, word by word, word for word, word to word. Word by word means going like this, the first word, the second word, the third word, giving importance to every word. Word for word means exactly the same way, photocopy, copying, right? Word toward means completely or thoroughly. Right? Now understand the meaning of the sentence. He claims that he has learned the lesson. When we learn something, we learn it completely or thoroughly. Or we must learn it thoroughly. So as this sentence talks about learning the lesson, it must be completely or thoroughly. And completely or thoroughly is word to word. There is in part C. He claims that he has learned the lesson word to word, thoroughly. The next one. While I was going to college yesterday, while I was going or when I was going? You know this. In the idea that contains when, ing should not appear. In the idea that contains while, ing can appear. While I was going to college yesterday is the idea containing while. And the idea containing while, we have ing, so that concept is completely fine. Up to here, no error. While I was going to college yesterday, I found a building in fire. The meaning of the statement is, now this sentence talks about the state in which the building was, right? The sentence talks about the state in which the building was. I told you, when a sentence talks about the state in which someone or something is, which preposition? We have to go for the preposition on. He was on duty, he was on leave, he was on strike, he was on a holiday, he was on a vacation, etc. So as this sentence talks about the state in which the building was, we have to go for the preposition on. So in fire is a wrong usage. It must be on fire. This is part D. Yeah, there is in part D. Here it starts with A. So while I was going to college yesterday, comma, I found a building on fire. The next one. We must go and congratulate the boys. Okay, I make it boy. Boy. We must go and congratulate the boy for his success in the examination held last month. I told you this is a commonly made mistake. The verb congratulate cannot be followed by for. It's always congratulate on. So congratulate the boy for his success is wrong. It must be congratulate the boy on his success. The error is in part B. So we must go and congratulate the boy on his success in the examination held last month. It's always must plus V1 plural. Must go is must plus V1 plural. We must go and congratulate. Congratulate is same as must congratulate. The word must is understood here. We are not using it again just to avoid redundancy, repetition. So we must go and congratulate the boy on his success in the examination held last month. Success is a noun because his is a possessive pronoun. The next one. The committee appointed to investigate into the said murder will convene next week to further discuss their strategy. The committee appointed to investigate into the said murder. Investigate into is a wrong usage. Enquire about is also a wrong usage. It is just investigate or enquire. Investigate and enquire are one word substitutes for look into. The committee appointed to look into the said murder is the same as investigate the said murder. Investigate into becomes an error with redundancy. The error is in part A. Now, come to sentence once again. The committee appointed to investigate the said murder. The said murder. Murder is a noun because of the article the. The said murder in the sense, the word said describes murder. Murder is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So said becomes an adjective. Will convene next week. Convene is a verb because always will plus V1 plural. Will sit, will stand, will teach, will go, etc. Convene is a verb, V1 plural. Next week, week is a noun. Next becomes an adjective. To further discuss their strategy. What is the part of speech of further here? To further discuss, I say discuss is a verb because always 2 plus V1 plural and 2 plus V1 plural. Discuss is V1 plural. Discusses is singular. So 2 plus V1 plural, discuss is a verb. To further discuss in the sense, the word further describes discuss. Discuss is a verb. Any word that describes a verb is called an adverb. So further becomes an adverb. To further discuss their strategy. Strategy is a noun because there is a possessive pronoun. As you know, after every possessive pronoun comes a noun. Come to the next statement. When he parted with his sister at London airport, there were tears in his eyes. I told you, separate is a verb and be followed by the preposition from. I told you about two phrases, part from and part with. Part from and part with are phrases. We part from a person, we part with something. When he parted with his sister is a person, so part with is a wrong usage here. It must be part from. The error is in part A. When he parted from his sister at London airport, there were tears in his eyes. The next one. Understand the meaning of the sentence. He says that he has a car beside a scooter. The meaning of has here is possesses, right? He has a car means he possesses a car. Beside means next to, nearby, adjacent to, etc. The meaning of this statement must be, he says that he possesses a car in addition to a scooter. That means he has a car and a scooter. That must be the meaning of this sentence. So in this sentence, beside does not fit. He says that he has a car beside a scooter. He possesses a car beside a scooter does not make any sense. It should not be beside, it must be besides. That means in addition to, apart from, other than, etc. He has a car besides a scooter means he has a car other than a scooter, apart from a scooter, in addition to a scooter. That is a meaning. There is in part C. The next one. He signed upon the application form. I told you this. Sign is a verb. Signature is a noun. The verb sign will not be followed by any preposition. I signed the report card, they signed the document, we signed the reports, etc. He signed upon the document. I put my signature on the report card. Put my signature on. Signature is a noun. Sign is a verb, will not be followed by any preposition. So he signed upon the application form is wrong. Upon is not required here. He signed the application form. The application form, form is a noun because of the article the. Application form in the sense, the word application describes form. Form is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word application becomes an adjective. The next statement. He always claims to be superior than everyone in his company. Now, as you know, ER words and more words, comparative degree adjectives, will be followed by than. OR words will be followed by to. This rule we have discussed in the case of adjectives, pronouns and all, prepositions as well. He claims that he is superior, he always claims to be superior than. Superior is an OR word. An OR word cannot be followed by than. That is the error. It must be superior to. So he always claims to be superior to everyone in his company. Always is a word telling us about a regularly happening action. If it is a regularly happening action, which tense, which category? Simple present tense. The verb here is claims, simple present. That concept is completely fine. Come next one. He was very much engaged in his work. Now I told you this. Is getting engaged to a person, right? Engaged to a person when it is a person, in fact. Engaged to appears when it is a person, engaged to a person. And then I told you one more example. I give one more example regarding the word engaged, in fact. He was very much engaged in his work. He cannot get engaged to his work. He cannot go and marry his work. The meaning of engaged here is involved, right? Engaged means involved. It's always involved in something. So he was very much engaged in his work is completely fine. Up to here, no error. He was very much engaged in his work when the thieves entered into his house and took away a lot of things. Entered into becomes an error with redundancy. Enter is a one-word substitute for come into. When the thieves came into his house, the same as the thieves entered his house. Entered into becomes redundant. The error is in part C. When the thieves entered his house and took away a lot of things. The next one. Left to herself. I said leave for, left for. That is leaving for a place. I'm leaving for Kerala. She is leaving for Delhi. They are leaving for Chennai, etc. That's leaving for a place. Left to herself is a correct usage. Now, left to herself means all by herself, without company, etc. Right? Being alone. Left to herself, Aruna prefers traveling by bus than traveling by train. Prefer is a verb and prefer will be followed by to. That is the error. The error is in part D. Now come to the sentence once again. Left to herself, Aruna prefers traveling by bus. Correct? Yes. Bus is a means of transport, medium of transport. We have to go for the preposition by. By a bus is wrong, I said. Traveling by bus to traveling by train. Train is also medium of transport here. By is fine. Traveling is what part of speech? Noun or verb? I told you after the word prefers comes a noun. What Aruna prefers? Traveling. We ask you what Aruna prefers. The answer is traveling. We're getting the answer to the question what as traveling. So traveling becomes a noun here. And ing but acting as a noun. Gerund. Traveling is called a gerund. The next statement. Under the terms of the New Deal, the channel can broadcast. There's no word like broadcasted. It is V1, V2, V3. Broadcast, broadcast, broadcast. Cast, cast, cast. Nothing like broadcasted. I'll ask you whether it is V1, V2, V3 here. Under the terms of the New Deal, the channel can broadcast the next cricket tournament to be played among India and Australia. Among can be used only when there are more than two entities. Between can be used only when there are two entities. How many entities are here? Only two entities are here. One is India and the other one is Australia. So we should not go for among. It must be between. Between India and Australia. There is in part D. Now, between will be followed by and. I told you this rule while discussing conjunctions. Between India and Australia, that rule is completely fine. What if I change the sentence this way? The next cricket tournament to be played dash India, Australia and Pakistan. Between or among? Still between, because the names are mentioned. I told you if the names are mentioned, no matter how many entities are there, whether there are two or more than two, it's always between. Then also it must be between India, Australia and Pakistan. Come to the statement once again. Under the terms of the New Deal, the channel can broadcast. Broadcast is V1, V2 and V3. In this sentence, broadcast is V1, V2 or V3. Can broadcast, as you know, we have gone for it many times in different topics. It's always can plus V1 plural. Can come, can sit, can go, can play, can sleep, can learn. So can broadcast, in this sentence, broadcast is V1 plural because no S, no ES, no IS. Getting it? The next one. The poet describes about the beauty of the landscape in a very attractive way. Describe about, explain about, discuss about, all these are wrong. It is discuss, describe, explain. He explains the matter, he describes the matter, he discusses the matter. Right. Now, discuss, describe and explain are one-word substitutes for speak about. The poet speaks about the beauty is the same as the poet describes the beauty. So describes about is a wrong usage. The error is in part A. The poet describes the beauty of the landscape in a very attractive way. Way is a noun because of the article a. Attractive way. I told you, if you want to identify the part of speech, never combine words. Don't take 2 or 3 words together. Take every word as a single unit if you want to identify the part of speech. Because part of speech is for each and every word. Attractive way in the sense, the word attractive describes way. Way is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word attractive becomes an adjective. How attractive? Very attractive. So the word very describes attractive. Attractive is an adjective. Any word that describes an adjective is called an adverb. So very becomes an adverb. Fine? The next one. The whole country was suffering by a financial crisis. Suffer is a verb. Now, as I said, if I say he is suffering with fever, that means he is suffering, fever is also suffering, along with fever. Suffer, the verb suffer will be followed by the preposition from. It is suffer from. He is suffering from fever, he is suffering from typhoid, etc. The whole country was suffering by a financial crisis is wrong. Suffer will be followed by the preposition from. So suffering from a financial crisis. Come to the word crisis. Now the spelling of crisis must be C-R-I-S-I-S or C-R-I-S-E-S, which is correct. Both are correct actually. Now here, there's a difference between American English and British English in terms of pronunciation, spelling and all. Like color, British spelling is C-O-L-O-U-R, the American spelling is C-O-L-O-R. We follow British English, that's why we go for C-O-L-O-U-R. Now on the system, if you type C-O-L-O-U-R, there will be a red line under that. Because on the system it is American English. Right. Now program, the British spelling is P-R-O-G-R-A-M-M-E. The American spelling is P-R-O-G-R-A-M. But in this case, there's nothing about British or American actually. C-R-I-S-I-S is singular. C-R-I-S-E-S is plural. That's the only difference. Analysis. A-N-A-L-Y-S-I-S is singular. A-N-A-L-Y-S-E-S is plural. Focus is singular. F-O-C-U-S. Foci is plural. F-O-C-I. Foci is there. Focuses is also there. Bacteria, plural. Bacterium is singular. B-A-C-T-R-I-U-M. Bacterium is singular. Bacteria is plural. Criterion, C-R-I-T-E-R-I-O-N. Criterion is singular. Criteria is plural. Phenomenon is singular. Phenomena is plural. Syllabus, S-Y-L-L-A-B-U-S. B-U-S. Syllabus is singular. Syllabi, S-Y-L-L-A-B-I. Syllabi is plural. So C-R-I-S-I-S is singular. C-R-S-E-S is plural. Now my question is, in this sentence, should it be C-R-I-S-I-S or E-S? And if I replace C-R-I-S-I-S with C-R-I-S-E-S, will the sentence be grammatically correct or wrong? I say grammatically wrong. The sentence is, a financial crisis. And can be used only with singular nouns, singular countable nouns in fact, singular nouns. So if I write C-R-I-S-E-S, the sentence becomes grammatically wrong. Right? Come to the sentence once again. The whole country. Country is a noun because of the article the. The whole country in the sense, the word whole describes country. Country is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word whole becomes an adjective. Was suffering from a financial crisis. The word crisis is a noun because of the article a. Financial crisis in the sense, the word financial describes crisis. Crisis is a noun, and as you know, any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word financial becomes an adjective.